Stay at home. Stay at home. Stay at home.
So I'm
All right.
Jack and I play drums.
I'm Tom. I play bass.
I'm Louis. I'm
oh.
frontman and guitar.
I'm Tommy. I play lead guitar.
Yes, happy days, boys. Just give us a bit of brief history about how long you guys have been going, why you formed, when you formed.
Right. I think I'll explain this. So it formed in school, and Tommy we were obviously in a band with a different drummer at the time, but to get this current lineup, we went through searching on social media for the other two guys. But it was just a case of Tommy finding this other guy called Max at school. They both got along really well, both happened to play music and listen to that sort of rock and heavy sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and
pretty much,
it just sort of took off from there. I joined their school and I was introduced as the bass player. And then when we decided that we wanted to expand a little bit, grow as a band and get our name out there, we decided that we needed a vocalist, and obviously Max was a bit uncommitted. He had other stuff going on like A levels and whatnot, so we had to get another drummer. So obviously we put something on social media saying that we needed another drummer, and for some reason we picked Jack, but he was the best that we could have.
Worst decision we ever made.
You're the best one.
It was a good decision.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sound. And just what were the biggest influences for each one of you for picking up your instrument?
For me, picking up the instrument in the first place was Claudio Sanchez of the band Coheed and Cambria. He's the reason I wanted to be a vocalist, reason I wanted to play guitar. Just everything that I do currently is stemmed from my inspiration from him.
Brilliant.
And then for me, I didn't really have anyone that made me want to start drums. I was just kind of like a noisy 6-7-year-old that just kind of saw drums. It's the loudest, it's the hardest, it's the fastest.
Yeah,
nothing's changed.
Kind of instrument. So I kind of gravitated towards that. But currently, I obviously there's influences that I kind of look up to when writing for Steel Mage and just when I'm playing in general. And it's going to be Alex Lopez from Suicide Silence, Chris Adler, who obviously used to be in Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And then you've got people like Pete Weber from Havoc, and obviously, as you know, with Point No Return has been a cover on our set since the very beginning. So I'd say they're the top three guys that I look up to, and I use a lot of their kind of parts that they use in their drumming in mine.
Yeah.
Really? I'd have to say, for me, probably Kirk Hammett made me pick up guitar, and then I discovered Dimebag, and he was like, he properly set me off, I guess. But yeah, nowadays I've basically been influenced a lot by Reese Scruggs, a bit of blues players actually, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. But yeah, really great players.
Really?
So yeah.
So for me, in terms of bass players, well, it's a funny story how I got into bass, because I was actually a drummer for a punk rock band in my old school. And the reason I decided I wanted to play bass is because there was another band that we used to compete with who had like a full lineup, 2 guitarists, a bassist, the drummer. One of the guitarists was a vocalist. So they had a decent lineup, and the bass player wasn't the best, but I never actually knew what the instrument was when I saw it. I just assumed it was a guitar, as everyone does anyway. But then when I heard him play individually, I was like, well, he was playing it with distortion as well. So it was obviously very deep, but did have that guitar sort of effect, but it was definitely a noticeable difference. So I was like, what instrument is that? That's so cool. And he was like, this is a bass guitar. So from that day on, obviously, I saw that as what I wanted to do. I still play drums. I'm not the best technique, whatever. I don't care, but it's just something I like to do. But bass, when it comes to influences now, it's just bass player after bass player after bass player. I'm constantly discovering new music, new talent, new musicians, and at the moment it's mainly Danny Hauser from the band Veil of Maya, because he does a lot of tap-in stuff and drop tune, fast, genty. That's the sort of music I like to listen to, and I know Louis into his progressive gent stuff as well. But yeah, it's mainly Danny Hauser from Veil of Maya as my influence at the moment.
So do you feel as though like your influences are constantly changing? Are they adapting over time? The more bands you see, obviously, which reflects on your influences for each one of you.
Yeah,
would say
100%.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
say personally for me, the styles I write in, they're always changing. It depends what I'm into at the time. Like lately, I've been writing a lot of single note stuff, a lot of chordy stuff, kind of big stuff that spans all over the net. Because I've been listening to a lot of stuff like Periphery, and it's all this complex stuff. But then sometimes I'll have like a Lamb of God phase, and I'll get in drop D and write these groovy riffs that they're just easy to bop your head to, and
Yeah,
it's constantly changing. And I think it's really important because it gives you this different range of sounds when you're
Right.
writing, and I think that's a really cool thing to have in your music. And I know that Tom obviously said that his influences are often changing, and that's clear in his playing. If you listen to the new tracks when they come out compared to the EP, you can hear the difference in his playing.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think the EP as well, I know this is a bit off topic, but the EP for us was sort of, making music as, to give us a bit of a set list as well. So we would make anything that sounded good, but was still different. So I guess it was good music and we still vibe to it. We can play it live and enjoy it. But in the new 2 tracks, you can hear that we decided to use a lot more of what we're capable of. So,
Yeah.
the stamina, the faster notes and the runs and the solos, there's just so much better about it.
yeah. And what about the obviously you mentioned that the slight lineup changes that's been in the band. Has the Steel Mage sound has it always been the same? Has it altered due to lineup changes, or has that Steel Mage sound always been what it is now?
It's been pretty solid. I mean, right when
Yeah.
it started, because Tommy Tommy founded the band just for the sake
Pretty
of what
much.
I'm going to say. And he pretty much wrote the 4 songs on the EP single-handedly. The first 2 minutes of all of them were written by Tommy and finished when we
Right.
got in this lineup. So that sound, it was something that Tommy had right from the very beginning, and we just kind of, when we all came together, this current lineup, we just kind of polished that sound, and obviously we're now expanding on it, but that was kind of the sound in our heads right from the beginning.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's definitely progressed though, like a ton. I'd say it sounds better
Yeah,
than it was.
completely.
Yeah.
And obviously with all the COVID stuff that's gone on and still going on, how have you found sort of like getting gigs and stuff like that, and how many events have you had cancelled, and what have you been able to do?
We
Yeah,
had an
it's,
entire
Go on, Tom.
sorry. Yeah, we had an entire year with gigs planned, and every time we'd get the news that our gigs had been cancelled and pushed back, it would absolutely break our hearts, because obviously Jack came into the band last year around October, November time. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but yeah, we got so many gigs as soon as Jack came into the band, because he was already sort of on that, like, he knew how to do it, and we were a bit uneducated. So we were really looking forward to this year, because we had so much. Yeah, we had a lot to look forward to, and the fact that it had all been postponed and shattered us all. So yeah, we had a year full of gigs, and every time we had an opportunity, we'd take it.
Yeah,
We've been doing as much stuff as we can do though, because over the lockdown in the first couple of months, we did those lockdown sessions on YouTube. I mean, they're not brilliant, but it's just kind of, we all filmed our parts, put them together, put them on YouTube for something to do, and then we've done a couple of live stream gigs here and there.
yeah,
And so it's just kind of grabbing at any opportunity that we could. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this because we love it. We're not, like, obviously it'll be nice to make a career out of music, but we all just love playing music. And the hardest bit of the lockdown for me personally was not being able to get on a stage with my lads. You know what I mean?
yeah. Have you been able to get on, to book any outdoor gigs during the lockdown? Have you managed to sort of get one or two in there?
Yeah, we have. I mean, obviously, thanks to you and Jane, we've had the opportunity to do some live streams and obviously the Whittles Jam. But then we got in contact with Mark, obviously at Raucous Events, who used to have the Alma, and we got to play a outdoor gig. Then it kind of felt like a proper gig. It almost had like a mini festival vibe. It was really, really cool. So that was great. We obviously shared the stage with Betrayal of Ruin and Unknown Refuge and loads of other bands that our favourite underground bands, really. Obviously, then we were approached by Badger to do the live stream gig with collaboration with Foreshore Media, and that was great. We enjoyed that, and obviously only last week, couple of weeks ago, whatever, we could do the stream at Redwall, which again we really, really enjoyed. But we've just been trying to get as many gigs as we can, even though we're in these times. And then in terms of bookings for next year, I've just been trying to get as much as we can, really. I think we've got about around 15 booked for next year. Trying to branch out.
Are they scattered all over the country? Are they northwest based?
Well, we've got a few in Manchester, obviously, because that's kind of like our hub, if you like. That's where we do a lot of our stuff. But then we're also branching out to places like the Isle of Wight, and I mean I say Storm Rider. I'm not too sure. They're doing something that's changing, but ex Storm Rider. They're the Isle of Wight, and then we're kind of going to Wales for Pentrafest, if that still goes ahead.
That'll be good, Pentrafest, mate. It's such a good festival, that.
Yeah, don't you go yearly?
Yeah, we've been about 3 or 4 years, mate.
Yeah, it looks
really good. You'll enjoy it. You'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, we've got a spare share in Manchester too, and then a few elsewhere too. So just trying to pick up as many as we can, really.
We like to have gigs near Jack as well, because he comes down from Barnsley in Yorkshire, and to us, so obviously it's sort of returning the favour and going to play up where I guess he's quite known actually in his hometown of Barnsley. You've been in the papers a couple of times, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, local papers and that, and I've just kind of done a few gigs around where I live, and and because it's quite a small area, Barnsley, and the music scene that we kind of do have, if we have a music scene, really, obviously it's only a small town. Everyone kind of knows each other, like Dislocated.
I was just going to mention Dislocated. Yeah, I was going to mention Dislocated. Yeah. They played for us at Rebellion. Such a good band.
Yeah. We go, we know Rich and we know Andy and stuff, and they've bought our merch before and stuff, and we hope to play with those a local venue in Barnsley after this. But there are bands local, as I say, like Dislocated, and you've got Death and Man, and there's a few like that, but everyone kind of knows each other here. So and I've been in bands like around Barnsley for like the past 5-6 years, so it's kind of been enough time, like for me as an individual, to kind of get my name out, if you like.
Yeah. You mentioned before about the live streams. You've done a couple. How have you found them? Are they, obviously, I know they're not they're not as good as an actual gig with an audience, but how have you found them? Have you found them useful, to keep yourself basically practicing?
It's a really good time. For us, I think it's really important not just to do something for our fans to watch or whatever, but like you say, to practice and to rehearse as a band, because
it's like a jam session, isn't it? It's like a rehearsal.
It is, yeah, and especially like not the last one we did from Redwall, but the one before, we did it from Pirate Studios, which is where we rehearse, and it was like on the end of a rehearsal, we'd ran the set a couple of times and then started the camera rolling and we were live, but the only times we've rehearsed this year, post March, obviously, were times we played gigs. They were our rehearsals, like the Whittles.
We've not had any proper rehearsals, or all. We've had about
no, we hadn't. It's been weird actually, because the Whittles Jam we did.
Yeah.
That was when we debuted Mandatory Detention, the new single.
Right. We finished it like the day before, and we hadn't rehearsed it.
Yeah,
so
we finished it the day before, Didn't have the
extended
lyrics
set.
finished.
Yeah. We're not, and the thing is, we haven't even got half the lyrics. We got like the lyrics just enough to get by. So
Yeah.
we haven't got the last half of the song, and then we only stuck tempo on, I think, for that pirate thing. No, for the Alma actually, which
Yeah,
again we
the
haven't
Alma.
heard. So
It's a bit similar to what we did with the EP as well, because we barely finished the EP on our first ever
Beat
gig
down.
that we did.
The
Yeah.
first
The
gig
beat
we
down.
played, we were on at like I think it was like 7 was our slot.
Yeah.
7 on January the
Roughly,
11th.
yeah.
7 p.m. January the 11th, just gone. And on January the 10th, the day before, at 10 p.m., we were in the rehearsal room finishing the lyrics for Beatdown.
Right.
We just rushed through the lyrics. That
Yeah.
was an eventful day. Do you remember
Yeah,
that,
it
Tom?
was.
Tom remembers
Yeah,
that day.
I do.
It's
You
like
were
a
late.
12-hour, wasn't it?
you were late. That's the one thing. I remember. Yeah, we were
Even
late. We
before-
really were.
I
We were
shouldn't
like,
really
"Mate, you gotta
say
turn
this.
up."
I shouldn't really say this, but before we pressed record on the live stream, we were all like, "Oh, classic Chadwick, late again."
I was sat down at this table at 20 to 7. And then Jack said, "Can I email you the link?" And he emailed it me at 5 past. I'm thinking,
Yeah, no, that's not even on me. Ben sent it at 5 past. He's heading slasher for that.
Well, you just mentioned about like stuff being released and that. I don't want to. Obviously, I know, but to people that don't, what have you released? What are you working on? What's coming in the future?
Yeah, well, we've obviously released The Uprising of Hatred as the EP. They always take the piss out of me saying that because obviously they say The Uprising of Hatred. Obviously, Sam from Yorkshire,
Right.
The Uprising of Hatred.
Uprising of Hatred.
So I'll get ripped for that.
Hatred.
Whatever. So we've had that released. We've got a single coming out on New Year's. This is getting put on after the release, so I should say our single came out on 1st of January.
Right.
And then there's temper that's included on bonus track, tape, vinyl, CD, and that. And then we're going to start writing our first album, or like kind of mid next year, and kind of go into the year after. We're not going to rush it; just something to put on the set, and then hopefully release it.
Are you going to be doing any like music videos? Are you going to be doing like proper official music videos?
We
Hopefully,
were
yeah.
going to do a lyric video for Mandatory Detention, but decided to just do some sort of like not animated thing, but it was little really horrifying
Visual
themes from-
something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
It's kind of
really
similar to
creepy
the
things.
samples we have, the visual samples we have at our gigs. Like at the Red Wall, we had that like minute-long
Yeah.
visualizer
That
before I say. It's kind of like that.
That was really good as well. I remember Jack asking me about that.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Jack
I
made
just
all
throw
those.
together just as something to kind of a bit more atmospheric, if you like.
Yeah.
So that same with samples as well. And this music video, obviously, we thought, no, we're not going to go for a lyric video. And then with music video, I wanted to save that till the album. So I just kind of took some inspiration from bands like Defamed and stuff, which certainly shines through if you're a fan of Defamed.
Yeah.
And it's all black and white. And basically, what the idea I had in my head was for it to be basically one big nightmare unfolding, and that TV screen that it comes on, and then you're looking at that, and you kind of get hypnotized in, and it's like a nightmare. So, I mean, would you expand on that, Tommy?
Basically, like it just opens like the listeners' like ears to like hearing what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like when this comes out, it's gonna like draw the viewer in. Well, listener. I think they're gonna enjoy it like really well. I mean, you've heard it obviously at our live shows. Well, I've not seen the visualizer yet. Sorry, stutter. But yeah, you're gonna enjoy it when it comes out. It's gonna sound great. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. Look,
But
We're
yeah,
all incredibly proud. We're all incredibly proud of it. Both of
Yeah.
the tracks.
yeah.
when we
Really happy with the
come out of the
visualizer.
studio, when we came out of the studio that day, we sort of looked at each other and said, we remember planning the studio. Like, we remember planning to come here, and we remember selecting the name for the song and everything. And now that we're planning on releasing it, we all look back and think, do you remember the time when we, first had the name for it?
Yeah.
We hadn't started
Crazy.
writing it or anything, and it's time's come this quickly.
Originally, we were going to call it Lockdown.
Yeah.
When we started writing it, and we were just like, this song desperately needs a new name because the name Lockdown is not original. It's a bit cringe. And so we were just like, right, how can we say the word lockdown without saying the word lockdown? And so I just went, what about mandatory detention? And everyone was like, hell yeah.
It's a good alternative. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
Yeah, no, just to round it up. I mean, you've mentioned about the events for next year. What have you got booked, and what do you think the chances of these actual events going on with the way things are looking at the moment?
Yeah, well, we've got events booked from February. Personally, I don't think, especially with the state Wales is in at the moment, I don't think Pentrefest will go ahead in that early in the year. It could be rescheduled for later in the year if that's what Fozzy decides, or it could just be, kind of left and then think, oh, you know what, keep the same lineup, keep Reaper on, keep Raised by Owls on, and just stick it on 2022 if they can do it. Obviously, we've got Metal to the Masses too, which is in Chesterfield. We decided to go in Chesterfield, so that's
so you've gone that way, have you?
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's another thing, just kind of branching out and trying to just go to a place where I guess we've not been before. Right. And it also it's a nice little venue as well, the County Music Bar. So we thought,
is that the County Music Bar?
Yeah. We were kind of drawn between that and KK's Steel Mill. But yeah, we have that, and then April, we might have a few bits in April. I can't reel off the top of my head. May, I think we've got
April. Can I just say April? We have the Tanking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Acid Rain. Yeah.
Do you know what we are going to try? We're hopefully going to try and get some sort of like 0161, bus or something, minibus or something.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, Drew is togging that one. So
he is togging.
And I mean, we've got drumming up change with Badger. We've got we're doing that, like we're opening for Badger and the Metallics, that thing at Rebellion in September, I think. We've got like a little all day at where Louis based, actually, Stoke-on-Trent. That's going to be his first gig there. So that's Hell-affected territory. And then, we've got that. And that's like an all day. It's got it's punk, metal, hardcore. It's basically that, just something that we could hop on. We've got a few things.
As well, isn't it? It's got some reggae
as well. A few other things in the works. That we can't say for definite yet, but we've got like a few things that we're trying to get there, and then obviously that one in Bolton, which is in May. It's May, isn't it, James? Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, at the York. Then we've got Summer Slammer, which Rick from Agent 47 has sorted, and then probably a few more which we can't read off the top of my head, but we've been
some we can't reveal
as many as we can.
Yeah, we can't reveal some of them yet because big news,
down low.
Yeah. And just so like another final thing there. Obviously, Tortured Demon. The good news that they've been signed up.
Yeah, we're really happy and supportive of them.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the album.
Deserved, our first gig was with those guys. Obviously, Spiritual Beast are a great label with Zentrix, Onslaught, Diamond Head. All those, and I think that Tortured Demon are a great fit for the label, and I think that they've worked hard to get there, and they're fully deserving of it too. And that's all I'm going to say about it, really. And I think it's great.
When you look at that, though, you think obviously people are looking at Tortured Demon or other bands, and they're not looking at their age. Age is not important. It's quality of band.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I try and get myself a bit of, session work just to get a little bit of experience. And I was saying this to the guys a while ago, because it has 16-year-old bass player from Manchester in my Instagram bio. And I was saying to them, do you think I should take my age out my bio? Because I don't want people to see my age and think, oh, he's too young. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I just kind of said to Tom, mate, I'm 15, and when I obviously pre-COVID I had 14 in my bio because that's when I was 14, and that's how I used to earn most of my money by doing tracks for people or doing stuff that was out of the scene, out of metal completely, and filling in for like function gigs or filling in for like a theatre gig and doing like a 3-night run on that or something, and that's how I used to kind of get a bit of spendo, if you like, and one opportunity I got, which was doing a musical for 3 nights, I was actually approached because of my age. They were looking for a band that was under 18, because obviously Oliver as a musical, it's kid based, if you know what I mean. Not like the actors are like kids, so they kind of thought, well, if that's what we're going to do, let's get the band. So all the band were under 18. So that's how I got that, and that was actually the highest paid work that I've had.
All right.
So, and it's just because it's like it's enjoyable as well, you know. As Louis said, none of us do it for money; we just do it because we enjoy it. So, and obviously,
I mean, I have to say, I do think that shows. I mean, you know, you are one of them bands that, you know, the amount of times I've called upon you to do things, you know, you've never, to be honest, you've never actually said no ever. So, you know, I think bands like that do actually go far. Some bands, you know, just I've not done anything this year where you guys have, you know, you managed to still gig and get
everything we've done is this year.
Because we have no standards.
I don't.
Bit of a dark hour. You know?
No, it's been great. So I have to thank you for like doing the live streams and obviously the jam session at Whittles, and it's been really good.
Yeah. I mean, as
We
we said,
do
we
them
take
every day.
Really
we
enjoyed
can
it.
take what we do. We can take what we can get, because it's all we ever want to do is play together, play music and rehearse. And as we mentioned before, we've not had many rehearsals at all. We've had like 2, and they've both been before gigs or near gigs. And just whenever we've had the opportunity, we once actually went to do a 12-hour session at Pirate Studio.
Oh God, I remember this.
We didn't realise that it was a 1-person limit on the room, and we got we went to do like a little break, get some drinks, and got back to the room, and they turned off the electric, and we were so heartbroken because we were in there for like an hour or something, and we barely got through anything, and it was such a shame. But you know, we take what we can get. The live streams, even if it's not in front of an audience, it's like the best thing ever, because not only is it kind of a rehearsal, but a bit pressured. You know, it's just a bit more experience. We can practice our choreography, and you know, there's so much that goes into it other than just playing our songs together.
Yeah. Well, I think look, when you look at the like obviously the one we did on Sunday, the Red Wall, it's so well done. I mean, the guys there are so good.
It's an absolute. It's a privilege to be a part of it as well, because if we go back and watch the video, whether it's our video, just our set, or you go back and watch the stream, watch the other band's set, they all sound amazing. The mix was fantastic. It sounded better than a lot
live mix too as well, and live streams are always a bit kind of. You can be a bit dubious with that. The audio was brilliant, the lights were fantastic, and the camera changes and stuff. And obviously Sheldon, Carl, they were really, you know, they catered for all the band's needs very, very well. And it obviously helps. I think it obviously helps the fact it's a studio and it's not like a venue. You know. 100%. That was something that was weird with Rebellion. To be fair, it was. Because of the acoustics of the room as well, it was a bit strange, but it was good fun.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I have to thank you for being our first of many 016 interviews.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
No, you're welcome.
Cheers for asking us to do this. It's been a pleasure.
We wish you a Merry Christmas from the 016. Hope you have a great Christmas.
And you too,
mate.
You too.
Well,
Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you in the new year, guys. Obviously, of course we will. We'll see you then.
Amazing.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much, guys. Cheers.
Yeah.
See you, man.
Cheers.
See ya.